I'm out in the woods today because I simply cannot get my head around what I've just come across. Probably the scariest statistic I've come across ever that I can think of, and I'm not even joking. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, you know AI is a big narrative. We all know that, and you've probably seen, clips like this. So that's all well and good, but I've come across a video, and it's by a guy called Neil McCoy Ward, hyphenated, and I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's got an amazing YouTube channel. It's not for the faint-hearted. It really isn't. So if you want to know what's going off in the world, I highly recommend you go and have a look at that. Loads of fascinating stuff. Anyway, I just took a few notes from this video of his, and I'll put the link in the description so you can see it for yourself. But just a few of the things, and then we'll get to the all-important statistic and why this has a bearing on a YouTube crypto video. So, IBM did two reports, and the first one looked at C-level executives from 3,000 of the largest companies, and then they also did a second report where they surveyed 21,000 workers right across the spectrum across 21 countries. So why did IBM do this? And it was all to do with job displacement. And as Neil says, this kind of stuff has been in the news, but nothing when you get around to the start I'm going to come to in a second. So, and that fact, and that what come out of this report was that in the next 3 years, so 2023 to 2026, AI is going to replace over 1.4 billion people. So 1.4 billion jobs. I mean, there's only circa 8 billion on the planet. And when you think about the fact that a lot of this will be in the Western world and not, because it's in the developing countries, it really is scary. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Paul, yeah, a lot of jobs are going to be replaced. But as Neil and I agree, rightly goes on to say, what do you think is going to happen to pensions? Okay, you've got the people that pay into them at the bottom and the retirees at the top. Robots don't need to sleep, take breaks, as he goes on to say. And who is going to be funding that? Yeah. So, and then he goes on to talk about being a consumer, which we all are, aren't we? We put money into the economy. Robots aren't going to be going for meals. So, what do you think is going to happen when all that money dries up? And they also, another fact here, another stat, should I say, 87% of people felt that they are training their replacements through real robotics and AI. But the thing is, they don't feel like they've got a choice. They want a job. And from my own thought, it got me thinking, it's like, we've already got cars, like Tesla, that drive themselves. In the future, we're going to have, will the cabbie even exist? And you might be thinking, well, all this is well and good, but AI is not going to replace my job. I've got news for you, potentially, depending on what you do, because this is just by 2025, by the way. So at the entry level, the report showed that 18% would be extremely affected in terms of AI coming into play, and 29% significantly impacted. But check this out, executive and senior management would be 6% and 9% would be significantly impacted. IBM also goes on to say that 40% of the global workforce will have to learn new skills over the next 3 years due to AI implementation. So yeah, it's just unbelievably scary. And also, can you imagine in the future when robots are in charge of some of the biggest organisations? I mean, he even goes on to say that they'll be running the S&P. They're trained for profitability. So you just think Gary, for example, who's worked for a company for 35 years, the robot's going to then have some sympathy. Nope. So yeah, I just hope I've not butchered this too much, really, but they were just a few things that stood out. And like I say, I highly recommend you watch his video. It's all his own research, just paraphrasing some of the key things that I learned. But for me, I knew it was a big deal, AI. You'd have to be living under a rock if you didn't. But I didn't realise the true impact this is going to have. Now, bringing it back around to crypto, in fact, I'll go back a second. So my conclusion is, it is scary for society, which just makes this bull run all the more important for us all. You know, to protect our financial futures. You know, pensions, well, that's looking like a non-starter, isn't it? So yeah, I just think it looks incredibly bleak. The flip side, though, is, could this be good for AI coins? And like I was saying, you know, we all think, or we all knew AI was, or is, going to be one of the major narratives for this coming bull run. But if you think about how that coincides with the bull run, there's going to be more news about it. You know, it's actually happening. People's jobs are getting replaced. And this can only, I see, being a good thing for AI coins. But if you could comment below, let me know what your thoughts are, and also which AI coins you're into, because I definitely need to start picking some up. A lot of them, like Render, for example, Tau, they all seem to have been pumping. Ajax seems, it's gone up a little bit, but that's probably one I'm looking at. And what's the other one? Urichain, or how you pronounce it. Sorry if I butchered that. But yeah, let me know what you're into. And yeah, and go and subscribe to Neil and watch his content and really learn about the shit show where we're going. All right, guys, laters.